Code 8 tells a story about a desperate young man possessing special powers who clashes with police force after committing a petty crime. Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Movie Files. Elliot back again with a different review for a film that came out quite a few months ago, but I was able to check it out over Netflix this weekend. This film is a sci-fi action drama, Code 8, letting you all know if it's worth checking out and give you my overall thoughts and the score at the end of this video here. This will be a spoiler-free review, but before we dive into it, as you all can see on the screen now, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, hit that bell so you don't miss any of my content. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Really helps out the channel, but also really appreciate it. And make sure you're following me on all my social media accounts. And last but not least, if and when you've seen Code 8, or if you've already seen the movie, what you all think about it? Let me know what you guys thought about the performances, the world building aspects of this film, and if you would like to see more within this universe that they've created, let me know your thoughts in the comments. So, like I said, I don't normally review films. It's been out for a while, but something obviously with the times that we're in now, with no new releases at the theaters and things of that nature, I wanted to kind of search out some new content that I haven't seen as far as movies and shows. So I wanted to kick it off with Code 8, a film that I haven't heard about at all until I saw it. You ever have these films that just kind of seem to find you? I was on Twitter this weekend, and some people that I follow said, "Oh, Code 8 is available on Netflix." And I, went on Netflix. It popped up the first thing I came up. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just give this a watch. And I did a poll on Instagram and Twitter and on YouTube, and you guys said, "Yeah, let's see you review Code 8." So that's what we're doing today. So doing some research about this film is pretty fascinating. How this film came about. It was based on a 2016 short film, which I haven't seen yet, but I'll probably check it out after watching this film. Robbie Amell and Stephen Amell put together a GoFundMe account, and they were only asking for $200,000, and they ended up getting like $2.4 million. And here we go. The film was out. It presented itself back in October, I want to say, from some film festivals, and then it hit the Canada film market back in December. So, starting off with the positives, guys, I am a sucker for sci-fi, as you all might know. It's been on my channel for a while, and the premise of a sci-fi thriller drama involving superheroes really kind of caught my eye, and it was really kind of a wink-wink superheroes, and your two leading actors, Stephen and Robbie Amell, have been in the superhero realm, especially Stephen, for those that don't know, he was playing a character for many, many years on CW, Green Arrow, which I used to be a big fan of the show, but then I just kind of lost interest, unfortunately, but I might come back to that show eventually. But very familiar with those two guys, and I was like, you know what, let's check it out. And again, the premise was really cool. I'm not gonna lie, this has some familiar traits to some things that we've seen before in regards to Robbie Amell's character, the good guy that's in a bad situation. His mom is sick, and he's willing to do anything at this point to kind of help her out. So you've seen that story in many, many dramas before. And then you have Stephen Amell's character, who's kind of he has some goodness to him. He has his crew of people that he's looking out for, but he also is kind of looking out for himself, and he kind of brings in Robbie Amell's character and kind of mentors him and tries to use his abilities to his advantage. But at the same time, like I said, there's a little bit of, good side to Stephen Amell's character. But again, the thing that I really liked about this film was the world building aspect. Again, this film was only an hour and a half, so we weren't able to dive deep into some of these aspects, but the idea of this movie reminded me a little bit of X-Men, right? Where the superheroes aren't living rich and famous and popular people. They're kind of more looked upon as, in the X-Men universe, as people that have these abilities, and you should be afraid of these people with these abilities. And I liked how they kind of touched on that in this whole idea of Liberty City, which was one of the first cities in this universe that kind of accepted people with special abilities. And they have certain rules and regulations they have to abide by. They have this kind of police system where there's robots that are overseeing the city and all that. All that stuff was really, really fascinating. So that was definitely something I could say really interested me and really was a positive for me. Performances were fine. There wasn't any necessarily people that stood out to me outside of Robbie Amell and mostly Stephen Amell. I thought he did a really good job. And again, it was really cool to kind of see him play a bad guy versus, seeing him all these years playing a good guy. And I was just waiting for that line of, "I'm here to protect the city," from my Green Arrow fans out there. But I thought he did a good job. And again, Robbie, he was only on a couple episodes from when I used to watch Arrow, and he was playing Firestorm, I believe. And I haven't really seen that much from him outside of those appearances in the Arrowverse. But I thought he was fine in this movie. You felt for him, and his relationship between him and his mom, I thought, was a pretty strong foundation and kind of the heart of the movie. And also the action set pieces I thought were really well done. In regards to, this is one of those films where I think some of those big executives, when they want to make these big blockbuster films, look at this as a template. the film didn't have a big budget. They had a pretty cool VFX and some really cool special effects. And again, you could see some of the limitations to their budget, but I thought that they did the best they could in regards to some of the sci-fi elements, the powers that were shown with, Robbie's character having the power for electricity, Steven's character having abilities to move things with his mind and his hands. You have people that can read into minds. They have all these different fascinating powers that I thought that they did a good job of displaying that with their budget. Overall, in regards to other positives, again, I like the story in regards to what they gave us. I like the world building aspect, and the acting again from Steven and Robbie were pretty solid. In regards to some of the negatives, unfortunately, again, with it being an hour and a half, there's some fascinating things within Liberty City. The police force, these robots, how is the other cities and how is the world accepting people with these special abilities? I would have loved to have dove deeper into that. There is some other negatives for me, mostly coming from the bad guys or the villains of this movie, who I thought were very, very badly cast and just weren't that great in the kind of the confines of this film. In regards to our main villain, I thought that he just wasn't a good actor, and I thought he was just very one note. And then the cop guy that was working with Sung Lang, who we all know from Han and the Furious franchise, which I thought he did a pretty good job. I wish they would have dove deeper into his relationship with his wife and his kid, and kind of why he's trying to help Robbie to a certain extent, and why he doesn't necessarily treat the people with superpowers like his partner did. I would have loved to dove deeper into that, and that's really where I'm getting at as far as just the negativity in this film, as far as criticism. The film does limit itself with that hour and a half time where you don't get to spend time with these certain characters that you want to dive deeper into. Again, they're throwing a lot at you in this story. The superpowered people, like what are all the different powers, and what's the limitations, and what's the maximum things that they can do. Again, you meet this young lady who I thought had an okay storyline. I can't think of her character's name, but the one who had the healing abilities. I would have liked to have seen how those healing abilities work and what are the ramifications of what she does. They kind of explore that towards the end, but I would like to have gotten more information on that. And again, just kind of wrapping up this review, the biggest thing is I just wish that we spent more time in this world and got to know the characters more and got to kind of explain more of the situation that they're in. But all in all, guys, this is a pretty solid sci-fi film. Again, there's some acting moments that aren't the greatest. There are some VFX and some special effects that aren't that clean, but with this budget that they have and with the premise and from what I saw, they might do a continuation of this movie in a form of Quibi, in a short form. If you guys are familiar with Quibi, is an app that just came out about a week ago, and it's allowing you to watch TV shows and movies in a short span of time on your phone. So it'll be interesting to see if they continue to build on this world and follow these characters. And like I said, I'll probably be watching that short film. But overall, guys, I would say Code 8, I'll give it a solid 3 out of 5. Again, I was very engaged with the story. Again, there were some lulls in the second half, and there were, like I said, the biggest thing for me was I just wanted to spend more time in the world and get to know these characters a little bit more. But from what we got in this hour and a half, I thought they did a pretty good job. And again, 3 out of 5 for me. Recommend you all checking it out. And when you do, let me know what you thought of it. Give this video a like, share, comment below, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell so you don't miss any of my new content. I will be reviewing something else pretty soon that I saw on another app, so keep an eye out for that video. Check out my watch along I did most recently for the Joker, my collaboration video with Talking TV Podcast, and many more things coming pretty soon. So thank you all for watching this review, and we'll see you in the next video.